Our brain picks up more than we realize, and intuition is its way of giving us hints. In this video, we'll explore 9 unmistakable signs your intuition is speaking to you. 1. You have a feeling that something's wrong. There are days when you don't feel very good, but there are times when you have a constant nagging feeling in the pit of your stomach that something is very, very wrong, which makes you feel a little uncomfortable. That is one of the biggest signs your intuition is telling you something. Women tend to rely more on their gut feelings than men, which is why they are inherently more intuitive in nature. Always remember that intuition is not being in a state of confused anxiety or feeling insecure about something. When your gut is speaking to you, take its intuitive messages seriously. 2. Certain situations make you feel uneasy and uncomfortable. Your intuition will always guide you towards what's best for you, while at the same time will caution you against future troubles and unforeseen dangers. Do you feel uneasy or unsafe about certain situations, even if you know there's no reason to feel like this? Is your gut telling you to turn back or steer clear of something? Your instincts can always sense when something is wrong, so if you have an inner voice telling you to not go through with something or is advising you to stay away from certain people and situations, then I'd say listen up. 3. You tend to dream about the same things often. Dreams have always been considered to be the windows to our subconscious mind, and by analyzing their meanings, you can gain a better understanding of your deepest desires, thoughts, and emotions. So, if you've been having some really vivid recurring dreams lately, it's definitely one of the major signs your intuition is speaking to you, and is sending you intuitive messages. Maybe you are dealing with some unresolved feelings that still need your attention, or you have some unfinished business from your past life. 4. Sometimes, you feel like some things don't really make sense. You sometimes find yourself racking your brains, because no matter what, some things just don't make sense to you, do they? Maybe something is wrong with your relationship, and you have this niggling feeling that your partner is not really being honest with you. Or you might be having a feeling that no one in your office likes you, they just pretend to, you don't really know what's going on. These constant feelings of doubt and confusion can be interpreted as intuitive messages, and is one of the several strong intuition signs. When you don't have clarity in your mind, and everything seems to be quite confusing, then there's a high chance that your intuition is trying to tell you something. 5. You have a sudden sense of clarity at times which you can't explain. Have you ever experienced a sudden sense of clarity, just out of the blue and unexpectedly? You are simply going about your routine and you get a heavy dose of clarity? It feels like epiphany when something clicks into place and suddenly everything makes sense even though you can't put your finger on why. Most often this happens when you don't expect it at all, and your mind is also clear and rested. This explains why many psychologists suggest mindfulness training and meditation, as they can help you become more aware of your intuition and yourself at much deeper levels. If this happens to you quite frequently, then it's one of the major signs your intuition is telling you something. 6. You find yourself feeling hyper-aware in certain situations. When your intuition is sending your strong intuitive messages, chances are you will suddenly start feeling very hyper-aware of your surroundings. You may notice your senses getting sharper, and paying attention to such clues can enable you to understand what your intuition is trying to tell you and if it's trying to protect you from harm's way. You might notice the lights feel brighter or the sounds around become louder. This happens because your mind is focusing on something, so that it can come up with an escape plan if you are in danger. Your intuition is trying to speak to you, which is why it's targeting the front part of your brain. This is probably one of the most strong intuition signs. 7. You might feel sick all of a sudden. Whenever you ignore your intuition, it can often show up as feelings of tension, discomfort, dread, or anxiety. And these sensations can become so severe that they can lead to unexplained physical conditions like headaches, chest pains, heart palpitations, trembling hands, dry mouth, tight throat, or even bouts of nausea/dizziness. So if you ever find yourself feeling ill without any apparent reason, then it might be one of the signs your intuition is speaking to you that something is not right, physically, mentally, or emotionally. You could be overworking yourself and need a break, or doing some sort of damage to yourself. Whatever it is in this case, your gut says that you must make changes because how you live now doesn't suit you. 8. You constantly feel like you are being manipulated and deceived. Your gut will always tell you when something feels right as well as when it doesn't. When you love and trust someone, you will obviously never think that they might not have your best interests at heart, and might be manipulating you. But your gut will always know. Your intuition will always know. If someone is trying to play you or manipulate you in any way, it will send you strong intuitive messages so that you know what the truth is. You might not notice these messages instantly, but you will gradually start to notice that something doesn't feel right. Emotional manipulation is not only unhealthy, but also unacceptable. If you feel that you are being manipulated in any way, pay close attention to the details surrounding this concern that your gut brings up. 9. You notice that certain things are constantly repeating themselves. One of the signs your intuition is speaking to you is when you are trying to make a decision, you start noticing patterns. You might notice that the same thing is repeating itself over and over again. This is your brain trying to make you see a pattern by joining the dots, so you can make the best decision possible. For example, suppose you are in a relationship with someone who has cheated on you in the past, but every time you forgive them because they come to you and convince you that they will never do it again. But this time, instead of forgiving them easily like you have done before, something stops you. You start to notice a pattern to their cheating. Everything is fine, but then you have a bad fight, they go ahead and cheat on you and then come running back to you for forgiveness, and the cycle continues. You now realize what's really going on thanks to your intuition, and you are finally able to let them go and remove such a toxic partner from your life. So, these are all the signs your intuition is telling you something. How many of these strong intuition signs have you experienced in your life? Do let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you once again for your presence and engagement. May your journey be filled with blessings and profound enlightenment.